you of course had talked about, well, ethical wealth creation in your earlier economic surveys. You coined the term Thalinomics. When you look at Thalinomics, and again there's much debate about that term, the big focus for many people is how, when you look at a time of rising unemployment, decline in employment, when you look at the term of layoffs, whether it's across white collar jobs, whether in the informal sector, is not even calculated in this GDP, so the impact in the informal sector may be much, much more. How do you look at Thalinomics at a time like this? How do we actually address the big issue of jobs? Because if you look at the GDP, maximum impact have been in job creating sectors, whether it's construction, whether it's services, whether it's manufacturing and mining. Those are the biggest hit sectors, except for agriculture, which doesn't have so many employment opportunities.
So Sonia, the idea of Thalinomics was primarily to try and enable a lay, a common person to be able to understand inflation using something as common as a plate of food that all of us encounter every day. Using that, I would say that the primary impact of COVID is deflationary. And so, it is something which affects demand, especially of discretionary items, which itself happens because of the uncertainty, and all of us, thereby, resorting to the savings motive, the precautionary motive to save. So that affects discretionary items. So overall, the impact, from an inflationary perspective is that demand basically goes down. There has been some increase in the consumer price inflation, even though wholesale price inflation has been negative. That's because of some of the supply side disruptions from the wholesale to the retail side. So that is something which I actually foresee as temporary, may actually not be in the same place, may change depending on the local lockdowns. So overall, the supply side frictions, I anticipate those to actually ameliorate as we go forward. And because of the demand side impact, the thali price should actually, not go up, possibly go down, but not go up. That's the way I anticipate it. Now, to your first part of the question on employment, what is important to keep in mind, and here again, we showed using very careful data, using the periodic labor force survey. While, a lot of commentators have focused on the quantity of employment, what was also important to focus on was the quality of employment. And there, the PLFS data clearly showed that when you compare 2011-12 versus 2017-18, the proportion of salaried workers had actually increased by 5%, and that translated into about 2.6 crore jobs, 1.4 crore in the urban areas and 1.2 crore in the rural areas. So when we talk about employment, and this is something which actually I'm bringing in to talk about the nuance, we need to focus on not just the quantity, but also the quality. So right now, for instance, what we are having is a similar phenomenon where jobs actually, the impact on quantity is not as much as there is on quality. And that's something which is because of the demand side factors.
Right. Well, Dr. Subramanian, thank you for joining us, taking a series of questions at an unprecedented time currently, as you pointed out, both corona, but in terms of economic impact. We hope to have you back when the next series of figures out, and we hope to see a beginning of that V-shaped recovery as well. Thanks so much, Dr. Subramanian.